Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and we're going to be doing the mid-month wrap-up for December. I have my notebook here that has all the books in it that I've read. So far in December, let's see, I have read 10 books, so I'm going to list them here. If I'm not talking about them in another video, I will talk about them here, and otherwise I will go into more depth in some special videos for some of these, but we're just going to go in chronological order. So the first thing that I finished was Emporer Mage by Tamora Pierce. This was book 3, I think, in the Dane series. It was book 3. I also finished book 4, so I had to make sure. This is book 3 in the Immortals series that has Dane in it, and this one redeemed what happened in book 2 to me. I did not like book 2 very much at all. This one made it so much better. It has its own video, so coming up, I think. I don't know the schedule for all of these dates when everything's coming out, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out in the future. Next one was Vengeance in Death by J.D. Robb. This was so far my favorite of the In Death series, and I know that I say that all the time, but I gave this one 5 stars. And it was so good. It dealt with way more things in her husband's past than we have dealt with before. And I just liked everything about it. And it was fantastic. That also will be coming in a future video. 3 Miles Past. Oh, then we have 2 Stephen Graham Jones books. They're both collections of short stories. 3 Miles Past and After the People Lights Have Gone Off. 3 Miles Past only has 3 stories in it, and they're longer than the ones in After the People Lights Have Gone Off. That has 16 stories in it. I think it's 16. They're all great. They are classic Stephen Graham Jones. That's not a thing. They're just so good. Just like the rest of his writing. I loved it so much. There's always 1 or 2 stories in these collections that I don't understand at all. I'm so confused by. It feels like some kind of weird fever dream or something. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm going, what did I just read? I don't even know what I just read, but so good. I really liked them both, and I am talking more in depth about them in another video. Then we have Eragon by Christopher Paolini. This one is one of my 100 best fantasy novels, and it will be coming out more in depth in the fantasy video, but this was so much better than I expected it to be. I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I should have known that it was going to be good because everybody was, it's a very popular book and everybody seems to really like it, but that doesn't always mean that I'm going to like it, and so I just didn't know what to expect, and it was so good. I buddy read this with Carly, I met her over on one of the Discords that I'm in, and I mentioned that I was reading this in a video, and my TBR video, and she commented and said, hey, I'm going to be reading that too, let's buddy read it. So we discussed on Discord, we just checked in every few chapters to see what the other one thought, and I think it was a reread from her from a really long time ago, and so it was just really nice to read it with somebody else. Then I read Norco 80, which is a nonfiction book that is part of my NPR challenge. It was so good, so good. It was about the bank robbery in Norco, California in 1980, and it was fantastic. I'm going to go into more depth in the NPR challenge video, but it was just great. And I'm so glad that it came up. I never know what to expect with these NPR challenge books because, as you know, it's just completely random. And I almost never have a bad experience with them. I love it so much. Okay, then the next In Death book, which was Holiday in Death by J.D. Robb, was good as well. It revolved around Christmas time, and we had a killer, and we had Eve trying to solve the crime, as every book. I am just continually amazed, though, that you take the same premise, like there's a killer, Eve's investigating, Eve solves the murder. And it does not feel episodic at all, even though that's probably exactly what it is an episodic book series, but it does not feel like the same thing over and over. It's something different and unique in every one of them, and I don't know how she does it so many times over so many books, but I love it so much. Then I finished The Neverending Story by Michael Ende. Ende. I'm not sure. He's German. This book was originally written in German, and I do not know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. This is also one of the 100 best fantasy list. It's also a book that one of my friends loves, Andrew from Get Right On In. It's one of his favorite books. And I had to message him on Voxer and say, I'm really sorry that I did not like your book that you love. I did not like it. I gave it 3 stars, which is like my lowest rating, just about my lowest rating that I will give a book, because I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. And so I was super confused through most of the book. And if you've seen the movie and you go in like trying to compare this to the movie, you need to stop at about halfway, because that's where the movie stops. And then the whole second half of the book is not anywhere in the movie at all. So I didn't like it. I'm going to talk about it more in the 100 Best Fantasy video, but I didn't like it. Okay. The last one that I finished, I just finished it last night, A Different Dawn by Isabella Maldonado. This book is amazing. It's book number 2 from the Nina Guerrera series. And she, first of all, let's talk about the author. Maldonado is a former police officer. And she even got, I don't know exactly what her title was, but she also did the FBI training and all of that stuff at the FBI headquarters in Quantico. And she lives in Phoenix. This story is about Nina Guerrera, who was found as a baby in a dumpster and raised in the system in not great situations. And now she is an FBI agent. And so in the first book that I read earlier this year, she was solving cases and had just like gotten into the FBI. Now this book, they are putting a new team together that kind of has profilers and agents and everybody working together in one certain kind of team. And you get so many like technical things because this is what her actual job was. She didn't have to go do a ton of research to be able to write this character. And so I feel like you just get a lot more information that way. But the story that she set up and the killer that she set up it was so good. And for a minute, she had me thinking it was going one direction and it went another direction. And we find out more about her childhood. She even potentially has met some members of her family that didn't maybe know about her or what was going on. I cannot wait for book 3. Also, this is a series that I am completely caught up with. There's only been 2 books, and I've read them both. Book 3 does not come out. It's slated to come out right now in June of 2022. It is on my list to get in June. So I'm going to keep up with this series as the books come out. I've also put her other series about Miranda Cruz, I think is her name. I know the last name's Cruz. I can't remember her first name, but that series I have put on my series list because I know I like the writer and it's a series I want to start. It only has 3 books right now in that series, so maybe I'll draw a card for that soon. And that's how I read this one. It was one of my card draws in my game at the beginning of December. So that is it. Those are the 10 books that I have read so far in December. And if you were following along with my bingo board for the reindeer games, I still don't have a bingo. I am really close to a bingo. I have 1 book left here, and I will have a bingo across here. And I need 2 books here and 2 books here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 books left in order to get my 3 bingos, and then I will be done. So I'm really confident that I can get those done because my longest books have already been read. And if you know that I like to read the long books first and you're like, wait, weren't you reading Deadhouse Gates, which was book number 2 in the Malazan series? I decided to temporarily DNF that one. So that's going in my temporary DNF pile. I'm not taking it off forever, but I'm going to take a break from it for now. So that's what I have right now. Those are my 10 books. I'm really excited because I know you can't see it because it's really bright, sorry, but you can see how many blank spaces are left right there. And I don't think I'm going to read that many in the rest of December. So I'm not going to have to use these pages over here that I thought I needed in case December's books ran over. That doesn't matter. That just satisfies my heart where things will be complete. And anyway, that does not matter at all. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, let me see. Oh, give me a picture of a sunshine because the Nina Guerrero book is called A Different Dawn. So if you can find a dawn, no, just the sunshine emoji would be perfect. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.